What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio, live from Dubai for Monday, August 24th, 2015, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime on iHeartRadio or download any of the iHeart apps, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Hopefully everyone had a fantastic weekend. Jon Stewart took down the most difficult politicians with his intelligence and crushing wit during his 16 years on Comedy Central. But how would he handle a stadium full of WWE superstars? Fans found out on Sunday when the former Daily Show host took the mic to welcome John Cena, Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, Sheamus, The Miz, WWE Divas, the Bella Twins, and some of the biggest names in the WWE for SummerSlam at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And the Rap was there to take in all the action. Stewart announced to the screaming crowd, invoking the Beastie Boys before telling them, "No sleep till Brooklyn. I've spent the last 16 years writing about politics. It's nice to be back in reality." Stewart announced his determination to take his Lesnar down following the wrestler's recent defeat of The Undertaker. He said, "Obviously, as a small, weak man, I would need a little backup." So he invited Mick Foley out to defend him. In a backstage video clip, Stewart crept down to Lesnar's dressing room and got into an argument with the wrestler's manager, Paul Heyman, who told him, "I guess they couldn't get David Letterman to host a show." Coming off with a broken nose a few weeks later, Cena was back with a vengeance against Seth Rollins for the main title of World Heavyweight Champion. Cena, the man fans love to hate, sparked boos and a polite chant of "please retire" as he entered the ring. The epic battle even ended up knocking out the referee. But the surprise of the night came when Stewart jumped into the ring to whack Cena with the chair, then very quickly sprinted back to safety as he helped Rollins clinch the title. Earlier, Arrow actor Stephen Amell made his highly anticipated WWE debut doing his own stunts. The CW star and WWE veteran Neville tag team against Stardust, who got into a fight with the actor a few weeks ago at WWE Raw. Amell kicked it off with a flying leap into the ring, slammed his painted face enemy to the mat. The actor proved himself to be an impressively athletic as he jumped over Neville's head when he was tagged in. Later, he was dropped from a highly high by Stardust, but when it looked like he was out for the count, Amell made a surprise recovery and got the first standing ovation of the night when he leaped from the ropes to help score a victory. However, the matchup everyone, including Stewart, was waiting for came between Lesnar and The Undertaker, who made an epic entrance complete with roaring flames and his signature funeral march. A bleeding head wound from smashing a media table over his head couldn't slow Lesnar down, who later gave the ref the finger right before being beaten in submission. Saturday night's show focused on the up-and-coming stars of NXT, such as Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder, as well as the four finalists of WWE's latest reality show, Tough Enough. Former Green Bay Packers defense end and Tough Enough favorite Josh Burdell is learning just how different the WWE is compared to the NFL. He told the ref, "You'll never do anything like this until you do it, so it's make or break. You either figure it out or you don't. There's nothing comparable. You need to have big energy from football, but then you have to refocus it and break out of your shell, otherwise you don't shine in the WWE." On Friday, Cena celebrated his 500th Make-A-Wish with a special event with WWE Chief Brand Officer Stephanie McMahon. The WWE superstar will achieve the landmark wish total where he spent time with Rocco, an 8-year-old from Queens, New York, battling leukemia before WWE Monday Night Raw. Cena said, "There's no more humbling experience than a child who could ask for anything in the world asking to meet me. I have faced some of the toughest superstars in WWE history, and I've never encountered more bravery or toughness than I've seen in each wish kit that I meet. It is inspiring to see the impact that granting wishes can have, and I look forward to granting 500 more." Stewart will return tomorrow during Monday Night Raw at 8 p.m. on USA Network to explain his actions. Rapper Wiz Khalifa was handcuffed Saturday and forced to the ground at the Los Angeles International Airport because he wouldn't get off his hoverboard, the hip-hop star said on social media. Video posted on the See You Again rapper's Instagram feed showed U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers holding him down and yelling, "Stop resisting." As officers restrained him, the rapper said several times, "I'm not resisting, sir." Khalifa, real name Cameron Jabril Thomas, captioned the video, "Three cops yell, 'Stop resisting. Only thing to do is let him know. I'm not resisting. I'm doing what I want." The rapper also tweeted that the incident happened all because I didn't want to ditch the technology everyone will be using in the next 6 months. Do what you want, kids. He added in another tweet, "I stand for our generation. Our generation is going to be riding hoverboards, so if you don't like it, eat a dick." Before the incident happened, the rapper said on Twitter that he was returning from performances in France and Finland. U.S. Customs and Border Protection wouldn't comment specifically on the incident, but told CNN U.S. Customs and Border Protection strive to treat all travelers with respect and in a professional manner while maintaining the focus of our mission to protect all citizens and visitors in the United States. All travelers arriving in the U.S. are subject to CBP inspection, and for their own safety and the safety of other passengers must follow officers' instructions while in the Federal Inspection Service area. CBP officers are conducting their critical national security mission while facilitating the entry of legitimate travelers. An uncomplained passenger or any disruptive behavior could put many at risk in this highly secure area. Botch star Tobias Schreibel, known for his similar appearance to Justin Bieber, has been reported missing, ABC 7 reports. Schreibel, who's 35, was last seen August 18th in West Hollywood, and his friend says that his disappearance is out of character. Acquaintance Mel Espinoza told ABC, "This is very unusual for him to be missing. He hasn't done any, not shown up for no reason, no note, or anything." Schreibel appeared on a 2014 episode of E's Botched, where he revealed that he had spent $100,000 on surgery to look like Bieber. Schreibel praised the pop star's appearance as extraordinarily beautiful. When E's Fashion Police returns August 31st for the MTV Video Music Awards, Kelly Osbourne said she'll be rooting for the show to succeed. But there's one person on the fashion panel who won't exactly have her support. Osbourne told the Rap Saturday night in Los Angeles at the 4th Annual NYX Face Awards, "I will never admit to liking Giuliana Rancic because I don't. I don't think she's a good person, and I think she's a liar." Osbourne left Fashion Police in February to pursue other opportunities. Her exit followed host Joan Rivers' death, and months later, a brouhaha over actress Zendaya's dreadlocks hairstyle at the Academy Awards. During the Oscar edition of Fashion Police, Rancid quipped about Zendaya by saying, "I feel like she smells like a patchouli, oil, and weed." A short time later, Kathy Griffin, who had been brought in to replace Rivers, also abruptly departed the series, and he yanked the show off the air. In June, the network announced FP would return with executive producer Melissa Rivers set as the new co-host alongside panelists Rancid and celebrity stylist Brad Gorgetsky. Osbourne said backstage after the Makeup Lines awards show, "Brad is one of the most incredible people in fashion. He is funny as fuck. I am so happy for Melissa that she is filling that seat, and I want that show to go on. It was just my time to move on." When asked if she would ever consider returning to the series, she offered that certain people weren't there. Osbourne is no stranger to controversy herself. Earlier this month, she was taken to task during a guest appearance on The View while the panel discussed Donald Trump's favorability among Latino voters. Osbourne said, "If you kick every Latino out of this country, who is going to be cleaning your toilets? Donald Trump?" Her statement was met with a groan from Raven Savone before co-host Rosie Perez said, "Latinos are not the only people doing that." Osbourne steered clear of politics Saturday at Club Nokia, but she was game to talk makeup and fashion. The television personality wore an edgy black and white ensemble, Chanel brooch, and wore her hair in a freshly shaven mohawk. Prequels are a tricky business. Right off the bat, a great deal of the guesswork about how things will turn out has already been taken away from the viewer. But Fear the Walking Dead pulls off a great feat in prequel land, used that nagging sense of inavailability to its advantage. It shouldn't work, but it totally does. Of course, part of the fun comes in knowing what's in store for the world of the series in general, if not the characters in particular. Set during the fledgling moments of the zombie apocalypse that eventually leads to The Walking Dead, the spinoff cleverly wraps some some standard TV family dysfunction in a world just starting to crumble, with the key being that the audience is more aware of what's going wrong than any of the characters is. Showrunner Dave Erickson, who co-created this series with The Walking Dead's Robert Kirkman, shifts the action to Los Angeles, far away from the Atlanta to DC corridor of the parent series. So it's safe to assume you won't be seeing any familiar faces for this run, which also means that anyone you do meet is fair game to the Fatality roster. A pair of struggling married teachers played by Cliff Curtis and Kim Dickens are plenty busy raising their eye-rolling teenager played by Alicia Demnan Carey and trying to keep tabs on her junkie son and Erie River Phoenix-ish Frankie Delane, while his ex-wife and son Elizabeth Rodriguez and Lorenzo James Henry still vie for some attention. Domestically, we're not breaking any new ground. Curtis's character is even introduced on his back under the kitchen sink trying to fix a leak without resorting to call a plumber. Hardly a fresh look at married life. But with that whole rising tide of ravenous undead grabbing everyone's attention, the familiarity of the main character's home strife is oddly comforting. At least there isn't enough time in the show to dwell on it. You get a sense of how this family's life would progress if there weren't a massive zombie outbreak happening around them. While you wouldn't necessarily want to watch them if there weren't such a calamity at foot, they're more than adequate companions for viewers along the ride of society's quick decline. After 5 seasons of watching The Walking Dead cast stumbling through urban, suburban, and rural wastelands created in the wake of a previously unforeseen zombie apocalypse, it's a genuine treat to see how that disaster was greeted by the world as we know it, and to see the transition that occurs in the characters from unwitting to survivalists when faced with terrifying adversity. Let's see where this thing goes. Taylor Swift upped her street cred Saturday night in Los Angeles at the Staples Center with a little help from her friends. The Babylon singer got crunk with Mary J. Blige as the two performed the R&B diva's 2001 hit Family Affair. The crowd went wild as the ladies belted out the lyrics, "Let's get it crunk, we're gonna have fun." The two also teamed up on Blige's new single, Doubt, from her latest album, The London Sessions. The Queen of Hip Hop Soul was one of the several celebrities who joined Swift on stage during the second of 5 sold-out shows in LA on Swift's 1989 tour. During the performance of her single Style, the pop princess enlisted help from male model Sean O'Prey and Hollywood stars Matt LeBlanc and Chris Rock. She also brought out Orange is the New Black actress Uzu Aduba to help her sing. But the highlight of the evening was clearly Swift's duet with Blige, which burned up the stage as well as the social media. The R&B legend even tweeted that the performance was an amazing experience. Two girls suffered mild injuries after rapper Fetty Wap jumped off stage and into the crowd at the Billboard Hot 100 Festival on Long Island. Newsday reported the girls became trapped under a fence Sunday afternoon when the crowd rushed the stage. Wap is one of 24 artists performed at the Nikon at Jones Beach Theater. Others included Justin Bieber, Nicki Minaj, and Lil Wayne. More than 1,000 fans were in the audience as a group pushed forward to take photos and videos of the entertainer. The newspaper says the girls were treated by medics backstage. Wap returned to the stage minutes later and apologized before continuing the performance. Raps for Wap, whose real name is Freddie Maxwell, did not immediately respond to an email seeking comment. It took only minutes for Lil Wayne to acknowledge his current legal dispute with Cash Money honcho Birdman at the Billboard Hot 100 Festival on Saturday. He said, "Before I get started, I just want to say I appreciate every one of you out here," shortly after taking the Hot 100 stage at 6:30 p.m. He concluded by saying, "I would like to thank you for standing by me for all the bullshit I've been going through." The tension between Wayne and Birdman has mounted significantly since the top of 2015. After years of doing business together, the two began publicly feuding late last year when Wayne said that his off-delay album, The Carter 5, was being held up by Cash Money. Since then, Wayne made the dispute a legal matter, reportedly filing a $51 million lawsuit against Birdman and Cash Money for keeping his career hostage. Birdman retaliated this summer, allegedly throwing a drink at Wayne during a performance. Alanis Morissette has detailed her battle to recover from eating disorders in a new interview with Women's Health. The singer, whose debut album, Jagged Little Pill, celebrated its 20-year anniversary this year, tells the magazine that she has dealt with binging and purging, starving herself, and overeating. It's been a difficult road to recovery for Morissette, who compares her struggle to that of an alcoholic or drug addict. Morissette says the big question for me around eating disorder recoveries is what is sobriety with food? We know with alcohol, you just don't drink it and don't go to a bar. With heroin, you just don't go near it. Whereas with food, you have to eat, so how can one go from, in my case, binging and purging, starving, overeating, the scale going up and down? How can I go from that to a sober approach? Morissette explains that her approach to overcoming eating disorders include developing a new mindset about food and building boundaries. She says, I've been so disassociated for most of my life, and it's shown up in various forms like eating disorders and not having boundaries around having sex as a young person, and just not being aware of boundaries and having a lot of mine be violated and not considered. For me, the idea of building boundaries has become a part of my spiritual practice. With the mindfulness stomach practices, it really helps me stay in my body. She also added, I was raised on macaroni and cheese, but I've noticed allergies that have gone away when I step away from dairies. I've noticed that when I get the high nutrient greens, I sleep better. There's less moodiness. Food is entirely medicine to me. That doesn't mean I'm just eating seeds and raspberry, although that's fun too. But it's an integrative approach. Westboro Baptist Church targeted a Foo Fighters concert at Kansas City's Sprint Center on Friday, but the band fired back with the Rickroll. The band arrived on the scene via pickup truck, blasting Rick Ashley's 1987 single, Never Gonna Give You Up, and holding up signs that read, You Got Rickrolled Again and Keep It Clean. Dave Grohl enthusiastically clapped along to Never Gonna Give You Up as fans cheer. The song's video has been used as an internet meme in which people fool others into watching Ashley's clip since 2007, when the phrase Rickrolling was born. Straight Outta Compton, which earned $26.8 million in its second week, is quickly becoming August's main success story, with this weekend's 3 new releases falling flat at the domestic box office. Indeed, Sinister 2, Hitman Agent 47, and American Ultra all failed to meet their projected numbers this weekend, placing below both Compton and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which is in its 4th week in theaters. NWA's biopic Compton easily took the number 1 spot this weekend. Universal added around 200 more screens for the film's second week, bringing the total to around 3,000. After earning a big $60.2 million in its domestic debut last week, Compton dropped around 56% in its second outing. Compton has already passed $100 million after just 2 weeks at the box office, hitting an estimate $111.5 million through this weekend. A smart marketing campaign, good reviews, and a strong word of mouth are to thank for the studio's latest success. Compton's second week win marks Universal's 13th weekend atop the North American box office. Tom Cruise's 5th turn as Agent Ethan Hunt in Rogue Nation continues to do solid business, and due to lackluster performances by the 3 newbies, it took the number 2 spot at the domestic box office this weekend with an estimate $11.7 million. Its total domestic tally now is $158 million. Paramount and Skydance's Terminator Genesis took the number 1 spot internationally thanks to its big opening in China Sunday. It earned $27.4 million at 25,000 locations. The film, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, took in $2.2 million at midnight shows, for the 4th biggest results for midnight shows. The tally marks the 4th biggest opening day ever for a U.S. film, behind Fast 7, Avengers Age of Ultron, and Transformers 4. Sinister 2, a Blumhouse production released by focused genre label Gramercy Pictures, did well enough to place number 3 with a $10.6 million come. The micro-budgeted horror film is directed by Kieran Foy from a script by franchise creators Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill. While Sinister's tally is below the $14 million projected by tracking, the horror project about a mother and her 2 sons who move into a rural house that's inhabited by an evil deity is cushioned by the fact it made for under $10 million. Blumhouse's other release, STX's first film, The Gift, is having a solid run at the box office with an $11.8 million domestic debut in early August, and it took the number 7 spot this weekend, adding around $4.3 million to its total and only dropping 34% in its third week. Fox's video game adaptation, Hitman Agent 47, earned an estimated $8.2 million in its debut for 4th place. Starring Homeland's Rupert Friend, the actioneer was directed by Alexander Bach from a script by Skip Woods and Michael Finch. Fox's second attempt at adapting the popular video game series fell below the first film's tally. The 2007 movie starring Timothy Olyphant earned $13 million when it debuted in November that year and went on to take in just $100 million worldwide. Warner Bros.' 1960 spy film The Man from U.N.C.L.E. was able to crack the top 5 in its second outing, earning $7.4 million domestically, a drop of just 45%. The Guy Ritchie film, which had a soft debut last week, had taken in $26.6 million domestically to date. This weekend's final wide release, American Ultra, wasn't able to find any fire as well. The stoner action comedy starring Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart will end the weekend with just $5.5 million for a 6th place finish. Universal's and Illumination's Minions, which placed number 9 domestically, grossed an estimated $8.8 million in 57 territories this weekend for a new international total of $669.4 million. Its worldwide total is now $989.4 million, being the lifetime totals of Despicable Me 2, which made $975.5 million, and The Lion King, which made $987.5 million, to become the third highest grossing animated film of all time. In the specialty sphere, Grandma starring Lily Tomlin earned $120,856 this weekend from 4 locations. Sony Pictures Classics, which brought the indie out of Sundance, released a film which has a strong per-theater average of $30,000. Isabel Quartet's Learning to Drive from Broad Green Pictures earned around $67,417 from 4 theaters for a pre-screening average of $16,854. Rounding up the top 10 is the Fantastic Four, which in its third week has made $49.6 million, but made $3.6 million in this weekend's box office. And now let's look back at what happened on this date in entertainment history. On this date in 1981, Mark David Chapman is sentenced to 20 years to life for the murder of John Lennon, a founding member of the Beatles, one of the most successful bands in the history of popular music. On December 8, 1980, Chapman shot and killed the 40-year-old singer, songwriter, and peace activist outside Lennon's New York apartment building, the Dakota, where he lived with his wife, Yoko Ono, and their son, Sean. On the day of Lennon's murder, Chapman, a Beatles fan who was born in 1955, spent the day hanging out in the musician's apartment on West 72nd Street and Central Park West. Later that afternoon, a photographer captured a shot of Lennon as he stopped to autograph his Double Fantasy album for Chapman before walking with Yoko Ono towards a limousine, waiting to take them to a recording session. Later that night, shortly before 11 p.m., the couple returned to the Dakota, where awaiting Chapman shot Lennon 4 times as the musician walked towards his building. Chapman stayed at the scene reading The Catcher in the Rye, a book he was obsessed with, until the police arrived and took him into custody. Lennon was pronounced dead at Manhattan's Roosevelt Hospital at around 11:15 p.m. Chapman initially entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. However, he later decided to drop the insanity defense and plead guilty to second-degree murder. At his sentence hearing on August 24, 1981, Chapman read from The Catcher in the Rye. Chapman's requests for parole have all been denied, and he continues to serve time at New York's Attica State Prison. Lennon's iconic life and ultimate death have in recent years inspired several films, including Chapter 27, which starred a bloated Jared Leto as Chapman and chronicles the 3 days leading up to the assassination. The visual artist Sam Taylor Wood will reportedly direct a Lennon biopic, Nowhere Man, to be filmed partly in Lennon's hometown of Liverpool. And as your entertainment report for Monday, August 24th, 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Mello. I'll be back tomorrow to deliver some of the major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Mello. That's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to the website or download iHeart apps and search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Everyone have a great day. Good night, and God bless you all.